WVOX.
Good morning, good morning. This is Mount Vernon Matters. Thank you for waking up today. It's a very important day. This is a day that we get to decide how the next couple of years will be. It's an election. It's election day. And, welcome to this day. If you have anything you want to say, 914-636-0110. I want to tell you a little bit about Mount Vernon Matters. Mount Vernon Matters. We're also on the internet, WVOX.com, if you wanted to look at us while we talk to you. Or you could talk to us on the radio, 1460 AM. But we also have a Facebook page. It's called Mount Vernon Matters with Jamie Pesson. I know, yeah, real original. But, that's the Facebook page name. Please go there, take a look at what we have up, and you'll see what we do every day. We talk about politics. We talk about local issues. We talk about events that you might want to visit that are in Mount Vernon. Recently, we went to an event at the Bayou where they had a zombie competition, and then later on they had a Halloween competition, and I think that it was really great. And if you listened to conversations with Mayor Ernie Davis this Thursday, you probably got to hear a little bit about what the Bayou serves, and I thought it was very strange that I had to tell you on this show, just in case you haven't heard that show. The Bayou, they serve gator meat. That's the most exotic thing that I heard that they serve. But they also serve everything regular, like hamburgers, chicken, mud bugs. Mud bugs are also crawfish. You could eat them just straight out. You just kind of like how you would eat shrimp. They just serve you a big pile of that. But now I heard that they added, during hunting season at least, elk meat. That's a bit odd. They serve, I don't know if they go out there, they tell the staff to go hunt them an elk, but bottom line is that they have venison available. So if you are in the mood for something truly exotic, go to the Bayou. They serve New Orleans food. They're in Mount Vernon. I used to work there. I can attest to the fact that they are good people that have always cared about the community. Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk about them. Who am I kidding? I would be talking about them, but the conversation would be slightly different. So today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to educate and inform people. Why do I want to educate and inform people? Because I don't really care what your views are. I just care that you know the information and that you go vote. The only opinion you're going to hear from me today is that you should go vote. If you're not voting, I don't know what you're doing, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read who is running for what. And this is pertaining to Mount Vernon. So you can educate yourself and so you can make the decision to get up, go outside, and vote. And then I want you to give me a call next week and tell me that it was because of this show that you stopped watching, let's say, Maury, or you stopped watching Jerry Springer, or you stopped watching whatever you're doing, which is some nonsense right now, instead of voting. Because voting is very important, to me at least. I hope it's important to you. Now, in Mount Vernon, they have the State Supreme Court Justice for the 9th Judicial District. On the Democratic line, they have Janet C. Malone, John P. Cole. Oh, my God, I'm going to mess up these names. I'll spell it. It's Colangelo, and I pronounce it Colangelo. Colangelo. Oh, yeah. So you got to say it like 2 or 3 times until you get it right. Okay, and then they have Maria S. Vasquez Doles. They have Victor G. Grossman. And they have Alexander Eisman. Now, if you notice, I read 5 names because you have 5 choices. On the Republican line, you have Mark C. Dillon. You have Christy Derrico. You have Daniel Castricone. You have John W. Sweeney Jr. You have Daniel DeAngelillo. I've seen his posters around. But, okay, so that's the Democrats, that's the Republicans. And forgive me if I repeat any names because there's also the conservative line, the work and family line, and the independence line. And we're going to also read those too. So forgive me if you hear any repeats. Mark C. Dillon on the conservative line. John P. How did I say it before? Colangelo. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna have a dream about it. Colangelo, because I'm getting it wrong right now. You have Victor G. Grossman, John W. Sweeney Jr., and Daniel D. Angelillo. Okay, the working families: Mark C. Dillon, John P. Colangelo, Maria S. Vasquez Doles, Victor G. Grossman, John W. Sweeney Jr. Okay, and on the independence line, you have Mark C. Dillon, John P. Colangelo, Maria S. Vasquez Doles, John W. Sweeney Jr., and once again, Daniel D. Angelillo. But if you notice, I said about 10 names. You know, they were 5 of them were on the Democratic line, 5 of them were on the Republican line, and they also, between both of them, happened to be on the conservative, working family, and the independence line. Okay, so you have 5 choices for the state Supreme Court justice. Now, let's talk about county executive. You can only vote for one. You have 2 choices. You can do the Noam Branson. Noam Branson is on the Democratic, working families, and the independence line. Rob Astorino is on the Republican and the conservative line. The next one we have, you can only vote for one. That's the district attorney. Now, keep in mind, everything I'm talking about is related to Mount Vernon, even though it's still, county. So you are hearing some things, if you're not from Mount Vernon, that you are going to have to decide today. Now, district attorney, you can only vote for one. On the Democratic, we have Janet DeFiore. And by the way, she's also on the conservative and the working family, and I don't see that she's running against anybody. So I guess, it's a tough decision for that category. We have the county clerk. You can only vote for one. On the Democratic line, and also the working family and the Democratic line and the working family line, we have Timothy C. Idoni. On the Republican, conservative, and independence line, we have Mary Beth Murphy. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the county court judge. You can only vote for one. On the Democratic, we have David F. Everett. On the Republican, we have Montgomery J. Delaney. And by the way, David F. Everett, he's also endorsed by the working family and the independence line. Okay, now we're moving on to the family court judge. You can only vote for one. And I believe that Kathy E. Davison has all the slots. She has Democratic, Republican, conservative, working families, independents. Once again, I guess your decision will be real tough for this category. County legislator, we have Lyndon Williams. He represents the 13th district. He's on the Democratic line. He's on the working family lines, and he's not running against anybody else. So another category where I guess it is a hard decision to make. I guess, there you go. By the way, if this trend seems to be trending, it is, because Maureen Walker, she has a similar position for comptroller. On the Democratic line and on the conservative line, she is running by herself. So you could vote for her, you could not vote for her, but, once again, another hard decision in an election that does truly matter. Okay, and we have city court judge. You can only vote for one. William Edwards is on the Democratic, conservative, and independence line. He is running against... Okay, he's not running against anybody. He's just running, and he hopes for your vote. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one of the areas that I've spent a lot of time on over the past couple of weeks, and I think you know my opinions. If you don't, I'm not here to give them to you today. I hope you have formed your opinions over the past couple of months. We have the city councilman race, city council person race. Okay, and we have on the Democratic row, we have Johanna Edwards, Roberta Apuzzo, and Marcus Griffith. On the conservative line, we have Maria Caraballo, Andre Bailey, and on the independence line, we have Damon Jones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 people running. You have 3 choices. Okay? When we get back, we're going to talk about what some of your other options are. I'm speaking about propositions. Mount Vernon Matters. This is Jamie Pessin. I hope you go out and vote. But wait till the show's over, okay? We'll be right back. I guess we're back. This is Mount Vernon Matters, and we're going to continue doing what we're doing. But if you would like to join the conversation, 914-636-0110. And once again, I'm glad you're listening to us. And what I wanted to tell you is that regardless of what you think, I want you to go out there and I want you to vote. You know, there's no reason why you shouldn't vote if you can. And if you can't, then you should register or work toward being able to register. That's my opinion. Let's get right back into the Mount Vernon related election, which of course, affects the county as well. And there are some proposals that have been put on the table, and some people may have heard them late. Some people may have been well aware of them, but you're going to find out about them right now on Mount Vernon Matters so that you can be informed when you go to the voting booth. Proposal number 1. And by the way, your choice is yes or no. So while I read this, think about, I want this or I don't want this. The proposed amendment, it's titled Authorizing Casino Gaming. The proposed amendment to Section 9 of Article 1 of the Constitution would allow the legislator to authorize up to 7 casinos in New York State for the legislated purpose of promoting job growth, increasing aid to schools, and permitting local governments to lower property taxes through revenues generated. And then they ask you this question: shall the amendment be approved? Yes or no? Proposal number 2, also an amendment. Additional civil service credit for veterans with disabilities certified post-appointment. That's the title. The proposed amendment to Section 6 of Article 5 of the Constitution would entitle a veteran who has received civil service credit for a civil service appointment or promotion and subsequently is certified as disabled to additional civil service credit at a subsequent appointment or promotion. Then they pose the question, shall the proposed amendment be approved? Yes or no? Proposal number 3. This is also an amendment. The title is Exclusion of Indebtedness Contracted for Sewage Facilities. The proposed amendment to Article 8, Section 5 of the Constitution would extend for 10 years until January 1st, 2024. The authority of counties, cities, towns, and villages to exclude from their constitutional debt limits indebtedness contracted for the construction or reconstruction of sewage facilities. Then they ask the question, shall the proposed amendment be approved? Yes or no? Proposal number 4. Settling disputed title in the forest preserve. The proposed amendment to Section 1 of Article 14 of the Constitution would authorize the legislator to settle long-standing disputes between the state and private entities over ownership of certain parcels of land in the town of Long Lake, Hamilton County. In exchange for giving up its claim to disputed parcels, the state would get land to be incorporated into the forest preserve that would benefit the forest preserve more than the disputed parcels currently do. Then they ask the question, shall the proposed amendment be approved? Now, if somebody just tuned into Mount Vernon Matters and they said, hey, what's this guy talking about? He's reading a lot of technical language. This is what you are going to expect to see when you go to the voting booths today. And there is going to be a section of proposals 1 through 6. So you're going to have 6 questions that you have to answer, yes or no. And I'm currently reading what the question is. So we read 1 through 4. I'm going to continue. And these are the choices our voters have today. Number 5. Proposal number 5, also an amendment. In relation to a land exchange in the State Forest Preserve with NYCO Minerals Incorporated. That's the title. The proposed amendment to Section 1 of Article 14 of the Constitution would authorize the legislator to convey forest preserve land located in the town of Lewis, Essex County, to NYCO Minerals, a private company that plans on expanding an existing mine that adjoins the forest preserve land. In exchange, NYCO Minerals would give the state at least the same amount of land of at least the same value, with a minimum assessed value of $1 million to be added to the forest preserve. When NYCO Minerals finishes mining, it would restore the condition of the land and return it to the forest preserve. Then they asked the question, shall the proposed amendment be approved? Yes or no? Okay? And by the way, I'm going to read the last one, and then feel free to call us up. Tell us anything that you think. 914-636-0110. This is WVOX 1460 AM. Give us a call. We always love hearing your opinions, your advice, and your information. It matters. So, number 6, increasing age until which certain state judges can serve. That's the title of this proposal. It is an amendment. The proposed amendment to the Constitution, amending sections 2 and 25 of Article 6, would increase the maximum age until which certain state judges may serve as follows. Under Section A, a justice of the Supreme Court would be eligible for 5 additional 2-year terms after the present retirement age of 70, instead of the 3 such terms currently authorized. And under Section B, a judge of the Court of Appeals who reaches the age of 70 while in office would be permitted to remain in service on the court for up to 10 years beyond the present retirement age of 70 in order to complete the term to which that judge was appointed. Then they asked the question, shall the proposed amendments be approved? Yes or no? Okay, so I just wanted everybody to know that these are the choices. And, from my general survey of people that I know in Mount Vernon, I think it is important that we read those choices. We all know who's running, but do we know the proposed amendments? We have a call. Good morning.
Jamie, Jim Colon, how are you?
Jim, it's always great to hear from you.
I know, it's always nice to hear you on the radio and to Mayor Davis and all our loved ones in Mount Vernon. And it was a tough week with that family that passed, as we know.
I know.
But we're going to be doing this some talks in the neighborhood and passing out some flyers. It's really one of our neighborhoods, as you know. We call it the Gateways neighborhood, and we love the people in those neighborhoods. And we're going to be sharing some information on safety tips for people, as we probably go door to door as well as at our Reef store over on Cortlandt Street. But we remember the Arena family and safety, and here's on this election day a better Mount Vernon, a better Westchester County for all of us. And it's you deserve it for your generation and everything we do.
Jim,
I do. As you know, I got 2 kids, so we got to keep it going.
Jim, I drove by that place because I was really saddened by what happened.
Right.
Do you see how close it is to a gas station?
Yeah, that's true too. When you think of it, no, it could have been. It's a tough thing. There's so many people that and it goes to the heart of what my mission is: the lack of good, affordable housing in New York and Westchester. It's not, it's not just a Westchester issue. Real estate is God, and here we have people living in basement apartments or extended families, living just so many everywhere because real estate is so high for everybody, and the taxes are so high. And for us, we give an interest-free mortgage, no down payment that could be 25, 30, 35 years. But, this is not getting any better. The housing stock is not increasing en masse. And even the dialogue over 750 units is nothing. There's a need for thousands of simple, decent, green, affordable condos, co-op units for people like you and the younger generation, and for seniors to be able to live and retire in this county. And really, that's the number one issue of this election is we or anybody, that how do we create living spaces that are going to be healthier, and it's probably the most important rebuilding green time in the history of this county.
You know,
So,
Jim, I never got a chance to tell you, but you know, I know I'll see you in person. Me and a gentleman named Randy Nareen, we started an adult volunteer group, and when we started that, I was really thinking about you because of all your offers for us to do it. You know, so as soon as we get 15 people, we're going to be coming to help you out.
Well, people can always see on Habitat for Humanity of Westchester. Our Instagram is Habitat WC. We even got Instagram. I don't even know what that is. So, Jamie, I know you do.
Jim, thanks for giving us
Habitat WC.
Thanks for giving us a shout out. And everybody knows about Habitat for Humanity. Mount Vernon Matters is going off air right now. But Jim, we'll talk to you next week about this if you want. Everybody, have a good night.